Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and I just got another issue of the LEGO Ninjago Magazine. You can see this month's issue comes with a General Vangelis minifigure, which, being completely honest, is probably the least exciting magazine for me in a while. I am glad we're finally getting some sort of Vengestone General, but Vangelis is definitely the least interesting one, because he's the only one that doesn't have any sort of exclusive part that's visible. Yes, he does have an exclusive head, but it's not canon and you never see it, so as such, he's the only one that's like easy to make with your own parts, so I would have preferred literally any of the others. To add to that, he also comes in a very cheap set, so yeah, I'm not super excited to be getting this one, but I'll talk about that more later in this video when I actually open the figure up. For now, let's remove him and take a look at the magazine itself. So there's a look at the full cover of the magazine. We have an epic LEGO toy Vangelis minifigure, and then we have LEGO toy Fierce Flapping Fiend. Interesting descriptor there. Then we've got a sick game, Dragons vs. Oni, rock solid puzzles, can you crack them, and a beast attack, what monsters are the ninja facing now? And then we've also got some mega posters, so let's just get this thing open. LEGO Friends ad once again. Table of contents here, as well as a little game to count how many crystal chickens you can find. Then turning the page, we have the bio on Vangelis, as well as the instructions to build him. So there's like a little recap on how Vangelis joined the Council of the Crystal King. We got some sound effects for his wings. It says flutter flutter, and he says, "This time I'm going for it." And the Overlord says, "Don't you dare crash." Vangelis. His home is actually in the kingdom of Shintaro, but in season 13 he led a double life and rolled over 2 tribes as a mean skull sorcerer. The ninja put a stop to him and locked him up until something crawled up to him one night. Then here I guess you have to find the wings and body that match the Vangelis minifigure. And then here we have the instructions on how to build him, and it looks like there's an unprinted head right here. I'm not sure if that's just an error in the magazine or if that's how the figure's actually going to be. I guess we'll see in a moment. But yeah, if the head's actually unprinted, that means the one exclusive part about this figure is not even included. So that makes this guy even lamer. But that could just be a misprint in the magazine. We will have to see. Anyway, turning to the next page. Here we have just 5 different mazes, it looks like. And it seems like each of them has like a sub-game with the mazes. There's actually a lot here. I think for kids this is fantastic, just having so many different games in just these 2 pages. Then turning the page again, we have Dragons vs. Oni. Alright, and there's a little game where you have to draw lines and then have them reflect and see where they land. I think there was a minigame like that in Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's a simple but very fun one. Here we have a draw your own minifigure thing, and it looks like they ran out of prompts because now it's just draw whatever. It's a blank minifigure, not even Ninjago themed. I mean, that's good, honestly. That's probably better than a lot of the others, but usually there's more of a prompt to it. Yeah, it says create your very own ninja, but they don't even have like a ninja hood or anything. But yeah, that's fine. I think it's still fun. Alright, but now we're at the comic. The comics are, of course, the most interesting part of the magazine, at least in my opinion. But as always, I'm not going to read the entire thing to you guys, but I will still show every page, so if you want to pause the video and read it for yourself, feel free. And if I notice anything especially funny or interesting, I will stop and point it out to you guys. So this comic is titled Shintaro Revisited. Okay, so it looks like this takes place before the Quest for the Lost Powers book. And in fact, I'm not even sure if it's going to have Quest for the Lost Powers in mind when they write this. So I'm curious if Ninja are also going to get their powers back here, and then this one just won't be canon. But anyway, it seems they're kind of down because they don't know their powers, but Lloyd still does. So they go to the library to research more about Quanish. And now let's see what happens next. Okay, so they're building upon the idea of Chrono Steel, which we heard about in Hands of Time, that they're going to try to collect elemental power as rocks and then release it. But then suddenly Halmar from Shintaro comes over and he's like, "Hey, the dire bats have gotten out of control. Can you guys come by and help clean up?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So they head up to Shintaro and the bats appear. And then... okay, what's up with Nia right here in this panel? Why does her face look so flat? Alright, so they head into the cave where the bats live, and Nia's going to use her elemental powers, which apparently she just has back, to flush them all out of the cave. But now we're at the break of the comic, so we'll be back to it in a moment, but let's see what's next. Here we have some serious scrapes. Oh, this is just another one of those where you just like match the part of the photo to the rest of the picture. Then we have the 2 posters in the center. This one has a picture of Oni Lloyd on it, with the purple eyes, which is a nice touch. But then the caption says, "Don't make me angry." I kind of love this one, I don't know why. It's very goofy, but the effects are super comic booky and fun. I would not call this like the best looking poster they've ever made, but it's a lot of fun, and the caption is very, very silly. And then the final one is just a lineup of the ninja and crystallized, and it just says Ninjago. Yeah, this one actually looks really good. I love like the crystallized city in the background. I like how they all have their own weapons. It is the wrong version of Lloyd, which is a minor thing, but it's not a huge deal. But no, I think overall this is a pretty good one. I'm actually quite happy with both posters. We have Train Your Brain, and this has 2 games right here, one of which is a maze. And then the other one is this game where there's a bunch of dragon coal faces, and you have to find the ones that are different. Like, for example, this one has 1 eye, and this one has the wrong color eyebrows. But then we are finally back to the comic. Okay, there's a lot happening here. Something is wrong with the faces on the ninja. Especially in this panel right here. Look, Nia's got no eyebrows at all, nor does she have lips, which she does have on our minifigure. Kai doesn't have eyebrows either, neither does Lloyd. Zane is smiling for some reason, and so is Jay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Also, Nia looks really cursed in this panel. I don't like how they did her mouth. And then Jay looks like he's just a photo of the minifigure. He's just got like the default smile. Very, very weird. Anyway, now turning the page again, they land, they find a rock turtle, and the rock turtle helps them to another hole. Okay, and so the ninja discover Chrono Steel here, and then they take it back home with them, and apparently it's going to continue in the next issue. So I like that the comics are going to continue between issues, and I did genuinely really like the story of this one. There's just one issue, is there's another canon piece of Ninjago material, which has already covered this in a different way. Because it seems like they're setting up for the ninja to get their powers back in these comics, but there is the Quest for the Lost Powers book, which just came out, which covers that same story, and they don't use Chrono Steel. So yeah, I wish the different Ninjago departments would have worked together a bit more on this, because it would have been nice if this could have been canon. But yeah, unless they do something crazy, I suspect this is going to directly contradict Quest for the Lost Powers in the next issue. Still though, I thought the journey was fun, and I do actually think if Quest for the Lost Powers didn't exist, this would actually be a really cool plot line that would make a lot of sense for the show. But yeah, I guess we'll see more next month, because that is the end of the comic in this month's issue. So now let's turn the page and see what's in the rest of the magazine. Alright, here we have some pesky nuisances, and it's just a bio page on lots of different characters. Dareth, Fugidove, Mayor Trustable, and Hound Dog McBrag. I don't know why Dareth looks so angry right here, but we've got some nuisance moments for him. But yeah, it looks like just bio pages on the characters and just recapping what they did in Crystallized. Nuisance moment number 1, he is useless. Why would they say that about Dareth? For Fugidove we have, in a bus full of convicts, the odd bird shows Jay what he's capable of. Really super, mega, totally impressive. Not! Also, we of course have the iconic Fugidove quote, "Grr, grr, I am a strange bird. Grr, grr." What? What? Okay, how do I even talk about this? What? Number 1, I don't think Fugidove has ever said the words, "I am a strange bird." Number 2, is grr a bird call? I don't think that's the sound a bird makes, nor is it the sound Fugidove makes. What is that? I feel like recently the last few pages of the magazines have always had some very strange dialogue, but you know what? I am all here for it. I think it's awesome. Anyway, let's turn the page again. Is this just Battleship? Yes, this is Battleship. Okay, I mean, this is genuinely fun. Battleship's an iconic game. I played it a lot as a kid, and if there was a Ninjago version of Battleship in a magazine, I would definitely be playing it. So yeah, I think this is a lot of fun. Then turn the page again. This is more of just like the reflection type game. And then finally, coming to the very last page, we have an advertisement for next month's magazine, which comes with a Golden Dragon Cole minifigure. He's the final of the Golden Dragon Ninja that we haven't gotten in these magazines, so that is super cool. Obviously not as cool as Kai and Zane, because they come in more expensive sets, but we did already get them in other magazines, so this guy is still very cool to see. I'm happy that all the Golden Dragon Ninja are coming in magazines, but of course I'll talk more about that next month when I actually have him. And then finally, in this very last page, you have this box that you can cut out. It has pictures of all the Crystallized villains on it, or alternatively, you could fold it the other way, and it's got pictures of all the ninja from Crystallized on it. But I think that's about all I have to show you for the actual magazine. So now let's take a look at the minifigure that it comes with, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts. So here is the General Vangelis minifigure, and in terms of the figure itself, I mean, it's fine. I do like the general design for the Vengestone Generals, and of course they all have the same exact torso and leg piece, and the design on those pieces is fantastic. Super detailed, especially love like little bronze detailing in the legs, and the purple arms used with the purple printing on the torso looks fantastic, of course with the Overlord symbol in the center. And then Vangelis, as I mentioned, has no exclusive parts that you can see with the mask on. So this is the one Vengestone General that you could make with parts from your own collection if you had another General and the previous Skull Sorcerer minifigure. The one actually exclusive part about him was the face print. However, as we saw earlier in the magazine, it's actually true, he does not come with any face print. Now that is super disappointing because that was the one interesting part about this figure was that face, because without it, he's just a mishmash of parts. There's nothing that makes this guy more special than the other Generals. So that's disappointing to see. Weapons a little lackluster too, just a crystallized sword. Again, this is a part I really like, but it comes in so many sets. I much prefer when the magazines come with way more interesting weapons. And then he does have his wings around the back at the very least. The previous Skull Sorcerer minifigure that we got in one of the Ninjago magazines did not come with his wings, so that is at the very least a nice touch. But yeah, I just would have preferred any of the other Generals over this guy, because he's already the cheapest General to get in any of the sets, and as I mentioned, he contains no exclusive parts. So I guess if for whatever reason you want extras of the Vengestone General torso and legs, so that you can make your own custom Generals and whatnot, this would be a decent magazine to get for that reason, because this is probably the cheapest way to get that. And I mean, yes, this is a cheaper way to get General Vangelis, but the Mechanic or Pythor or Harumi or Asphera or Mystery would have been way more interesting. So yeah, overall, there's good parts, but I wish it was something a little bit better. But overall, what are my thoughts on this magazine? I thought the magazine itself was actually really good. I thought the story was great this time around, even if it's not canon. And there was a lot of games. Like, they'd put a lot of games on one page, and all of them seemed pretty fun to me. And the posters were really good this time around, too. So yeah, I think the magazine itself is fantastic. And then the minifigure, as you just heard, is probably my least favorite one in a while. It's not awful by any means. And like, if you really want General Vangelis, and you don't have the $35 to spend on Zane's Jet, I guess this is an okay option. But if you're only getting this for the minifigure, I'd recommend just getting Zane's Jet instead, because you get 2 other minifigures with it, and a whole build, and in fact a better version of this minifigure. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought of this magazine in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!